The Witcher Wild Hunt was one of the best games of the last decade. It was highly praised for its story. The latest Witcher game took storytelling to the next level by making people care about the people in the game, and not just Geralt himself, but side characters and the people of the Witcher world. They accomplished this in a number of ways, but one of the ways that I think most exemplifies the creative care taken in The Witcher Wild Hunt is the side quests. In many games, side quests are an afterthought, seemingly thrown in for nothing more than to meet a quota for achieving a certain amount of time spent in-game. The Witcher devs took it upon themselves to explore what happens when you breathe life into these side quests, and put as much effort into them as you put into the main narrative. They tie into that narrative and give insights about characters that you could completely miss out on if you decided to skip them. For this video, we'll be exploring a single side quest. I'll be looking for a few key things. In any side story, you want it to evoke character. What that means is we want it to explore a different side of a character that we wouldn't have been able to see otherwise. We also want it to explore the world. We learn things about the world and fill spaces that we may not have even known about. Finally, we want a good side story to be impactful. This means it has to be engaging and spark an emotional reaction from the player. All of these things are what we're looking for, and we'll be looking at the Witcher's side quest, A Matter of Life and Death. This quest takes place towards the middle of the story, and it focuses on Triss Merigold and the mages in Novigrad. The mages are in a bad position, the same position that Triss finds herself in. They're persecuted by the temple to the point where they have to live in hiding, or they will be tortured and killed. Triss is trying to find a way for them to escape the city, and this side quest starts when she is contacted by a wealthy noble who wants to help the mages, for a price. It doesn't take long for the side quest to touch on fun themes from The Witcher. We see Triss react to Geralt in a different way than in the past games. They have a very colorful past, and the side quest draws from it in ways that even people new to the series can pick up on. A great moment early on is seeing Geralt's reaction to being forced to get out of his Witcher gear and into something a bit more stylish.
Damn doublets chafing my armpits, and it feels like they sewed wires into this.
I'll be sure to admire your valiant suffering the whole time.
As we talk to the contact, we learn that the noblewoman has a son who has been participating in alchemy and has earned the attention of the witch hunters. She's going to put on an elaborate party as a front for us taking her son to safety. We get to participate in that party, and that's where we start to see more world building come into the equation. Part of the world building is us learning about the plight of the noblewoman. Even the nobility with their influence aren't immune to the witch hunters. We also see old characters and meet new ones as we're roaming the party. You can even play a game of Gwent if you want to. After you walk around and talk to a few guests, we meet with the noblewoman, Lady Vegelbud. She wants Triss to take her son to Novigrad, where the mages will gather and escape the city. After we find her son and tell him to make his way to the garden, we're treated to one of the cuter scenes featuring Geralt and Triss, in which she gets a bit tipsy and almost falls off a fountain. You can either choose to kiss her, or if you prefer not to initiate any sort of romance, not. This is one of the places where I think The Witcher gets some unwarranted flack from the gaming community. People who haven't played the game and only hear about it think that the romance boils down to you boning everyone you come into contact with. Is that something that happens in The Witcher? Yeah, it does happen a few times, but quite a few of these relationships have multiple games worth of build-up. They have history, character building, and plenty of story moments that lead you into these situations. It isn't a case of simply ticking a box and throwing down in the nearest bush. Just take Triss herself as an example. Throughout the course of the Witcher games, Triss is one of the most constant characters. She's the one who helped Geralt when he had amnesia. There are moments between her and Geralt which show a more human side to relationships that you don't see in gaming. The scene in this side quest is all about build-up. It's the build-up that we got from this game and the games before it, and it leads up to the scene in the garden, which itself is a more build-up before the eventual climax in their relationship story. That takes time and execution, both of which are handled very well in this game. Another example of this build-up and execution is the side quest The Last Wish with Yennefer. which I felt was one of the most real moments between two people's relationship in any form of media. Aside from the whole being on a ship on top of a mountain defeating a genie in order to sever your connection thing. Triss's story shows her change quite a bit over the course of the games, and this side quest does a good job of showing the outcome of that change, while staying true to her character. She has become someone that the mages can count on to lead them to safety. This quest is part of Triss's overall quest line, in which you can choose to help the mages escape, or you can choose to ignore them completely, and by doing so you seal their fate. Yes, they do actually die if you fail to take part in this questline, and that hits my final requirement perfectly. There is genuine impact to the actions you take in the side quest. Not only is it impactful to your game going forward, since you see the consequences, but it also impacts you because you see a moment between two characters that you've grown to love over the course of this series. This is only one of many side quests throughout The Witcher that I feel do a really good job of building the world and the characters. There are plenty of others, some of which have a more personal impact, and some which are just a good time. But what The Witcher does more than pretty much any other game in the genre is keep a consistently high level of quality in the side quests. They don't fall into the trap that many other games do, where you just throw in a bunch of fetch and killing quests that aren't meaningful. And that's something I hope other developers learn from going forward. This has been Storytelling in Side Quests, The Witcher 3, and I'm Melchiorus from Game Clouds. Have a good night, friends.
Hey-ya!